don't think it's some far off state that you'll never achieve. It's a state that is waiting to be discovered in all of us. There is a Haridas and Tansen in all of us, not necessarily in singing, in something. Find out. Next topic is tranquility. These are the characteristics of the Stithaprajna. Prashanti. A key aspect of the Stithaprajna is the attainment of a state of tranquility, Prashanti, which remains undisturbed even in the midst of all provocations and actions.
Jitatmanah prashantasya paramatma samahitah shitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayoh.
In one who is self-controlled and serene, the Supreme Self remains steadily poised. Jitatmanah prashantasya paramatma samahitah. In cold and heat, in pleasure and pain, shita ushna sukha dukkheshu. Remember we came across these terms earlier. As well as in honor and in ignominy. Tatha mana apamanayo. See, the tidal wave of these polarities will keep coming. Today someone will praise you to the sky, tomorrow you will be blamed, you will have honor, you will have dishonor. That cyclic thing, people will throw mud at you and hope that it will stick. But usually we get affected by everything. We want one polarity and we don't want the other polarity. And we are oscillated and we keep reacting, and that is life for all of us. The Stithaprajna is remarkably free from these reactions, though he can also experience it because his surface being is also affected. But it's not affecting the Purusha in him. The steady serenity attained here is an outcome of the two characteristics mentioned earlier. What are the two characteristics of the Stithaprajna? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyeva atmana tushtaha stithaprajnyas tadochute. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan. What does that mean? Desires no longer causing agitation, they drop off. So self-mastery. And the second is self-realization. Atmanyeva atmana tushtaha. This points to a very high level of attainment, conquest of the lower nature and attainment of the perfect calm that comes from realizing one's identity with the one Supreme Self, the Paramatma of all. This is no passing state of asat. It is the enduring state of sat, where the realization of the true self and the consequent insight, prajna, is steady and enduring. Sthita. That's how the word Stithaprajna. Prajna is insight. Sthita is steady insight. According to Sri Aurobindo, he has conquered his lower self, reached the perfect calm in which his highest self is manifest to him. That highest self, always concentrated in its own being, samahita, in samadhi, not only in the trance of the inward drawn consciousness, but always in the waking state of the mind as well, in exposure to the causes of desire and of the disturbance of calm, to grief and pleasure, heat and cold, honor and disgrace, all the dualities. It is this quality of tranquility that gets reflected as a steady inner poise in the individual, an equipoise that sees the divine essence, Sat, in all beings amidst all transient and varying appearances outside. So you not only see it within yourself, you actually see it in all beings. When we are ego-centered, we only see egos outside, because that's all you get to see. Here you can see the light, but the light is masked. You can see the light is masked, but still you will try to communicate with it because your intention is the swara has to come out. Do you understand? That is why you can't blame anybody because you're covered in ignorance. The terrorist is not to be blamed. You see it as extreme tamo guna possessing that individual, and see what you can do to bring that light outward. The Gita gives much emphasis to attaining such equipoise or steady equilibrium in the face of all kinds of provocation and dualities. So this is covered in later chapters. We'll go to the next topic. I don't want to go too deep into this because we are not yet there. Just want to give you a flavor of it and then move on. So Prashanti is a key word here. Next is the final hallmark of the Stithaprajna, a poise and abiding in the Supreme Spirit, brahmi sthiti.
एषा ब्राह्मी स्थितिः पार्थ नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थित्वा स्यामन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्म निर्वाणमृच्छति.
Arjuna, such is the firm poise in Brahman. Esha brahmi sthitih partha, attaining which one is no longer deluded. Na enam prapya vimuhyati, abiding in it even at the time of death. Sthitva asyam antakale api, one attains self-extinction in Brahman. Brahma nirvanam richati. This is a good way to go. And here is a challenge for all of us. We have many years to live, hopefully. To attain this state of brahmi sthiti before you give up the body is the real key to fulfillment. It is possible if you put your mind and heart and soul to it, because that's why we are born. You have to do it consciously if you want to attain it in this life. You may not attain it, doesn't matter. But in any case, the journey is fantastic and life becomes fulfilling. Which means you have to purify and change the current way of living. And only you can do it. You are your best friend. You are also your worst enemy. Brahmi sthiti. Okay, so I just want to go to page 52 and read some lines there. We need to dwell more and more within, as Sri Aurobindo puts it, looking from within outwards instead of living in the surface mind, which is always at the mercy of the shocks and blows of life. It is only from that inner state that one can be stronger than life and its disturbing forces and hope to conquer. Very powerful lines. We are all subject to the shocks and blows of life on a daily basis. We really don't know what to do. We keep reacting and it's not the best response that we are capable of. If self-realization is our goal, if we need to truly know who we are and why we are here in this world, we must learn to go inwards and find our true center there. Indeed, it is only by abiding in that deep center of deep abiding peace that we can know how to deal effectively with all the shocks and blows of life. That center is like the eye of a storm, always still. You know, in a cyclone, the only still place is at the eye. How many of you have read Eckhart Tolle? So, two books I strongly recommend. One is called The Power of Now. The second is called Stillness Speaks. Beautiful book. As Eckhart Tolle says, when you lose touch with inner stillness, you lose touch with yourself. When you lose touch with yourself, you lose yourself in the world. Your innermost sense of self, of who you are, is inseparable from stillness. That is the Nada Brahman that we talked of. This ability to stay centered and anchored in inner stillness, the state of the Stithaprajna, and thus to engage skillfully in work and life is the inspiring message of the Gita. Like Arjuna at the battlefield, we may be more concerned with immediate challenges we face in our lives in the so-called outer world than the noble ideal of self-realization. Let's say you've got a serious problem like Arjuna, and if someone gives you all this gyan about about Stithaprajna, I mean, out of respect you listen to it, but you're really bugged by what do I do now? So, in such moments of crisis, our main concern is what to do or not to do, and this is discussed in the next chapter. So, What are the main qualities of the Stithaprajna as described in the Gita? What is meant by inner joy, antasukha, and inner radiance, antarjyoti? The state of brahmi sthiti seems well suited for a retired life or that of a renunciate. What place do you think it has for the Arjunas of the world like us engaged with our Kurukshetras in life? That's the question you asked. You jolly well answer it. Does it have meaning for people like us living in the world? Okay. Now we'll have a little meditation break. I hope you've started at least. To make sure you do it, I have to give you an inducement. We are all suffering from these inducements. I had a problem with my BTech students who found it difficult to come for the 8 o'clock class. I have a B slot class. So I made an announcement. I said, those guys who've been absent, you have to meet me in my room if you want to attend from now on. So out of fear, all of them came one by one. Some told stories, I don't know if they're real or not. They were not well and all that. But the majority told the truth. The truth is, tamo guna possessed them. I said, sir, we could not get up in the morning. So I said, is it only in my class? No, sir, your class is the best of the lot, but the body doesn't get up for any class. Because you have to sleep. I totally agree with you. So I said, you decide what is important, and I left them. Then the class rep came and met me. Then I asked him, do you have any tips? You know the boys better than me, boys and girls. He said, there's one easy thing that will work. I said, what's the secret? Sir, you announce a test at 8 o'clock. Announce a test at 8 o'clock? It will work, sir. So he's experienced, he's got, so I said, fine. Tried, but I didn't want to give a test, so I said, I'll give you one problem you have to solve, just 10-15 minutes, and I'll take the paper away. I was surprised. Next class, full attendance, everybody was sitting there. I was wondering how these guys who love to go to sleep can show up at 8 o'clock in the morning. That too, they look fresh. I think they had a bath to stay awake during the exam. Then I realized, see, we are all responding to Prakriti. We respond to programmed responses. It's a conditioned reflex, and you all are familiar with it. Conditioned reflex, like you know the Pavlov's story, how he found it out. He had a set of dogs, and before he would feed them, he would ring a bell. Then he knew after some time that the moment he rang the bell, their tongues will start salivating. And some days to test them, he did the bell but didn't give them food. Then he found they were all getting agitated, they were restless. Similarly, the moment you say marks, test, Pavlov's conditioned response, something happens there, the wiring gets triggered, and say, you're laughing. Now, when you step out in the world, even in placement, you see, you guys are looking for package, package, package. Then you're like Pavlov's, you have no control because everybody said package is important, package is important, package is important. So whatever package is, you don't even know what package is, but it's something, and the number matters. They say 60 lakhs per, 60 lakhs. Not only it's your tongue starts salivating, your parents' tongues also will start salivating. You're laughing, but it's really a joke in life. This is how we are all. We are like programmed dogs. We don't know what we are doing. But this is all Prakriti playing with you. Yeah? And that once you see, you know that I don't want to live a stupid life. So you have to do a lot of rewiring. To do rewiring, you should see your own programming. Currently, we are all programmed to salivate. That's the right. So you have to find out, when do I salivate? What triggers my salivation? Is it good for me? Is it the right thing? Is it a game of the ego, or is it something that linked to my swara? And that's a huge shift. That means restrictions. That means discipline. That means giving up stupidity. But stupidity is not easy to give up. because the ego's got a foothold there. So, if you want to do all that, meditation helps because it gives you that clarity, that stability to understand what's going on. The whole aim of this 10-stage meditation program, which will take some years, is to attain two things. This is an Indo-Tibetan tradition. The first is shamatha. Shamatha is equanimity. Equanimity in mind, equanimity in the vital, equanimity in the physical. Along with that you get vipassana or vipassana. That is the ability to clearly see what's going on. Otherwise, in ignorance, you're neither calm enough to figure out what's going on, you're agitated, or you can't see what's going on. So, you remember this, that you'll find that it's difficult. You will try to focus your attention on the meditation object. In the beginning, and you help yourself by playing some games like putting that. Shall we play that? Okay, we wait. The tick sounds or whatever, so that in breath you're clear. How many of you found that useful? The following, the ticks. You have to follow the in breath and out breath. How many are doing it? Shall we do it for some time? Okay, we'll do it, and then you will find quickly that you get distracted because your mind is not used to sitting down. Your mind is scanning for what to salivate at. So you're always scanning, and then you forget that you sat down to meditate. You get lost in your more attractive world of daydreaming or whatever, and then your mind will wander. Half the meditation is lost in this, and then you suddenly wake up and say, oh my God, I'm supposed to be meditating, and try to, this is a great moment, and so you should be happy, and then you try to stay present, and you will find if you sit and do this daily, this mind wandering, forgetting, distraction will reduce. Your first major problem is mind wandering. It happens to everybody. Then you'll find that this one day will go down to zero. But that's how far that is depends on how sincerely you do this. So we'll do this for a few. Just play, okay. Close your eyes, sit erect. Okay, we'll stop there. You have to give yourself a chance to meditate first. But we are so busy doing hajar things, we don't even give ourselves a chance. I will show you later that you can also do it when you go for a walk. So, walking meditation is even better. But everywhere you have to be in the present. And we are thinking too much. We are lost in thought. So, to bring yourself back to the present, it's good to focus on some sensation in the body. When you're walking, it's the sensations of your feet pressing against the ground. I can't tell you how much good it can do you. You have to understand you're really shifting a programming inside you, and when you live in the present, prajahati yada kaman will naturally happen. You're not always obsessed with all kinds of problems. What problems we'll see shortly. The Buddha identified 5 hindrances to live the life of a Stithaprajna, and specifically 5 hindrances in meditation. Can you guess them? And you can check out, throughout the day you check, now which is this hindrance? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's one of these 5. Yeah. Laziness, your favorite hindrance. Okay, next. You're right. It's laziness and lethargy. Distraction is an outcome of all these hindrances. They all contribute to. Laziness and lethargy is one big one. Agreed. What you're doing now is also coming from that. Dullness, drowsiness, sleepiness, all come from, what's the guna operating here? You tell me. You can't help it. And when you yawn, all these guys will yawn. Why? Prakriti is yawning through you. Okay. So what's the guna? Tamoguna, tamas, okay? Right. So, but let's say you're wide awake. Let's say your swara has come out. Can you experience this? No way. So you're not awake, you're not alive. At least not now. I'm not saying. So how to bring this awakening whenever we want it? Okay, that's one distraction. Name others. Disinterest comes from what? Oh, let's put it the other way. Interested in something else. What is that other thing you're interested in? Yes? Oh, someone said worry.
Worry or stress of future.
Worry, okay. Worry and remorse. It's called agitation caused by worry and remorse. That's your favorite distraction. Okay, who else?
No time.
Huh?
No time.
What do you mean no time? This is not meditation. This is to live a fulfilled life. You have no time to live a fulfilled life? It's also meditation. So what is your, let's put it, where is your time engaged? Busy man. Tell. No time to meditate, time for everything else. What are the other things? What? Those other things are the 5 hindrances. Name them. Sports. What did you say? You said something. Huh? What can be? This is also kind of sports, yeah. It's developing a muscle, meditation muscle. This is a mental gym. This is a great sport, yeah. Very few people can do it. Not everybody can be an Olympic champion in meditation. This is a great sport, by the way. Okay. So anybody else? You've hit only 2 hindrances. What are the big ones? What's the biggest hindrance to the becoming Stithaprajna? That's all part of this only. Huh? Ego, no. Palm, ego, don't keep blaming. Just wake him up. Tamoguna has possessed him also. Yes? That's all same Tamoguna. You come out of it, yaar. Huh? You don't believe in that. You believe only in the ego that we've discussed, but that's not the main hindrance. Look, we covered it in the last class. What's the real problem for all of us? Thinking is good, no? Huh? Lust. That has multiple meanings. I don't know what you mean, but but yes, Trishna, and of all the Trishnas, Kama Trishna. So worldly desire, and that's very tough to, find. We're talking of worldly desire of a very self-centered nature. Self-centered. That's where all your time is going. Self-centered, worldly desire. Not anybody's fault. Prakriti created it like that. So pursuit of pleasures related to our material existence and the desire to avoid their opposites. So there are many pairs, gain, loss. In the Gita itself you will come across this, labha, alabha, jaya, ajaya, pleasure, pain, sukha, dukkha, fame, infamy, mana, apamana, praise, blame, ninda, stuti. You want one end of the polarity and you want to avoid the other end. Both will create problems. Normal for all of us, okay? But this is what happens when you sit to meditate also. I need to do that assignment. Tomorrow is the test. She's going to call me anytime. All kinds of things will come, I'm feeling hungry. All sensual pleasures will start raising their heads here. The second is aversion, very common. A negative mental state involving judgment, rejection and denial. It includes anger, resentment, dissatisfaction, criticism, impatience. A strong problem, especially in meditation. Self-accusation and boredom, because we want fatafat, quick results, instant gratification. And the fruits of meditation don't come like that. They come after a lot of disciplined practice. Third, Laziness and lethargy, you're very familiar with this one. Laziness appears when the cost of an activity seems to outweigh the benefits. It's not that you're just lazy, you're a clever lazy guy. That means you're saying it's not worth it, I don't need to go to the class. But when someone says there's a test and there are marks, it's worth it, better wake up and go. See, clear proof. You're always doing that calculation, not worth it. Don't do. Lethargy manifests as a lack of energy, causing dullness and drowsiness and sleepiness, procrastination and low motivation. All this you mentioned. I'll meditate later. After retirement, I'll meditate. You'll never do it. Next one. Agitation due to worry and remorse. Remorse for unwise, unwholesome, immoral or illegal activities, and worry about troubling consequences of past actions or imagined future scenarios, causing the monkey mind. You know what monkey mind is? Mind wandering is a slow mind wandering. One thought links to another thought, links to another thought, and you've traveled far. Monkey mind is a restless, like a monkey who's jumping here and there and never staying still. We sometimes feel that, a restless mind. Often when you're really worried, it happens. Doubt, a biased, unconscious mental process. What's all this? Yeah, it may not be true. All this nonsense about Stithaprajna. You understand? Is it worth it? I don't believe it. It's true of everything. You doubt. Uncertainty and lack of trust inducing hesitation, stalling the effort needed to validate through self-experience. Self-doubt saps our will and undermines intention. I have given a detailed meditation note. You're going to get it today, which talks of these things. And my suggestion to you is try to figure out during the course of a day which of these 5 is capturing you more frequently. Then you can look for specific antidotes to work on. And once you've got them, for example, trust is you somehow trust everything goes. Often you need to taste success, because success brings a lot of self-confidence. You know somehow it will work out. But unless you've tasted success firsthand, you can't believe it. It will work out. These guys are always positive, and things click. They get the Midas touch. Everything works. So there are 5 factors that you need to consciously cultivate. The first is directed attention. In meditation, just do it means directing attention to the meditation object to counter procrastination and loss of mental energy caused by laziness and lethargy. Because once you've woken up, you can't go to sleep easily. Just do it, just sit and do it. Next is, if you're feeling really sleepy, take a bath. You won't be able to sleep after that. Not so easily. Sustained attention. This is achieved through consistent effort. Success leads to trust and doubt disappears. Meditative joy. You have not, see this you will get once you cross the 5th and 6th stage. You will find that the joy you get from this, sensual pleasure can't touch it. That's a powerful incentive. The real joy, it's a meditative joy. The joy that arises spontaneously at higher stages of meditation overcomes worry because it induces confidence and optimism. It also overcomes remorse because a joyful person regrets past harms and is eager to set things right. See, there's no use feeling remorse unless you can set things right. Once you've set it right, the remorse is gone. You have to bring a closure to all issues in life. And how to bring that closure, when to bring that closure, you get to know when you learn to meditate. Pleasure, happiness, there's little room for negativity caused by aversion when filled with bliss. So you get bliss here. Antasukham. Unification. When you really achieve the purpose of the yoga of the Gita, which is being yukta, being nitya yukta, when you are yoked to the divine in you, when all parts of your being are integrated, when you have everything responding to your svara, then and then only will the 5th, the most difficult to get rid of, the worldly desire, will fall off on its own. So these are the antidotes to the 5 hindrances. Here's where I want your tongues to salivate. You have to submit a record. 2 records you have to submit, one at mid-sem exam, one end-sem exam. And this is also an incentive to keep you at it. Maintain a weekly record, writing a 1 or 2 page summary per week. Every week you write something. Okay? Submit your first report on the day of the mid-sem exam, March 9th. It's a Saturday. Take a moment to reflect on your higher objectives and intentions of taking this course and doing the meditation, and then answer the following questions truthfully for your own sake. Number 1, how successful have you been in maintaining a daily practice? What kind of hindrances came in the way, and could you or could you not overcome them? Which of the 3 gunas tend to predominate? It's a self-assessment of yourself, for yourself. What was the average duration of your sitting meditation this week? That means some days very short, some days little longer, average. This week, so you've got many weeks left. Could you effectively do the prescribed preparation? You have to do the preparation before you start focusing on the object of meditation. To what extent could you do it? Assess how often you seem to have got lost in distractions, forgetting and mind wandering during the meditation. What did you do on waking up to improve the meditation? How well have you been able to extend the practice to settings in daily life, becoming conscious of the movements and quality of your attention and peripheral awareness? Finally, you will reach a stage where you'll realize life itself is a 24/7 meditation. Everywhere you want to be able to put your mind and heart and soul into whatever you're doing and not to be distracted and lose. So the rewards of meditation will flow into your daily life. To what extent could you observe this? Finally, at which stage, is it 1, 2 or 3 or 4, do you believe you are currently? What is the basis of this self-assessment? I want this report on this date. The day you come to write the exam, give it to me. I prefer it handwritten so that it's authentic, not typed or cut and paste. Handwritten in your own handwriting. And do it after, just before the end sem. So you've got, it's just to encourage you. If you don't do it, I'm taking the worst case scenario, then you're at stage 1, which means you'll never do it in your whole life. But I'm hoping that some of you will reach at least stage 6, it's a 10 stage, by the time you finish. And that's a huge breakthrough. My hope is some of you will do it, and then after it's self-sustaining, you don't need any encouragement. You'll do it on your own.